In today's news, Earl Hazel Jr. dominated the Film Commission's competition, winning 7 of 9 awards. Ministry provides update on the Elmore Stoutt High School project. Honorable Rymer calls for a standard to be placed across the board when disciplining public officers. Social commentator Cindy Rosan shares BVI political climate to the region. Government open to fuel subsidy extension. Response remains dynamic, says Premier Wheatley. And Culture and Tourism Month officially opened. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Freeze. Choose your mix, choose your flavor.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Welcome everybody. It's Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Thursday to one and all. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, Earl Hazel Jr. of West Indy Film dominated the BVI Film Commission's 30th Major Milestone Film Competition after winning 7 of the 9 awards of the night. Our Kamal Haynes has the story.
Earl Hazel Jr. delivered on the night with a short film entitled The Filmmaker's Dilemma, which was labeled the most thought-provoking of the 5 short films presented on the night. Well, he took the audience on an exclusive trip through his mind to show the thought process and the many challenges faced by a filmmaker from the conceptualization phase of a film to the finished product. Well, let's take a look at the trailer of his short film.
My love for film started somewhere around the age of 5 or 7. I would be fascinated by the images on screen. Something I've always wanted to do. It's just that sometimes I find it hard to come up with something good, I guess.
Hazel won Best Director, Best Soundtrack, Best Editing, Best Acting, Best Screenplay, the Neil Blyden Memorial Award for Best Cinematography, and the pivotal $3,000 grand prize attached to the Rodney A. Skelton Production Award for the Best in Film. Well, let's take a look back at that winning moment.
For Best in Film, for the RASP Award, goes to The Filmmaker's Dilemma, West Indies Film. Round of applause. Wonderful job.
Congratulations to all our filmmakers that entered our film screening events tonight. We are really proud of you guys.
The first runner-up for Best in Film went to Nadia Turnbull of Missing Creative Group for her film entitled At Essence, an animated film that won Fan Favorite and Best Animated Short. Where the second runner-up went to the duo of Cameron Peters of Frost Media Digital and Enya Douglas for their film entitled The Big Break. Well, some of the requirements for the submission of the film included a short film between 7 to 11 minutes in length containing a fictional or non-fictional story, shot primarily in the British Virgin Islands, a camera, the number 30, a historical site in the BVI, a Virgin Islands song, branded products from the BVI, the phrase endless opportunities beyond your imagination, verbal or text, must have ended with seize the moment in text or verbal exchange, a cameo by a popular or famous musician, politician, published author or model, a video diary of the filmmaker's completion, and behind-the-scenes footage. Was speaking during the event was Premier and Minister of Finance Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, who congratulated the Film Commission for their accomplishments achieved over the past 3 decades. Well, he pledged his government's financial support to local filmmakers in the territory, stating that he will be investing money into the industry.
And over the past 30 years, of course, we would have had many wonderful films happening here, being filmed here, right here in the Virgin Islands. And of course, worldwide esteemed media entities such as National Geographic, the BBC, Sports Illustrated, Victoria's Secrets, and many others would have filmed right here in our beautiful destination, and that is due to the hard work of the film commissioners and their staff. So give them another round of applause. The support of the local film industry is certainly key, even for our tourism product and for our tourism ambassadors who will promote our destination, not just locally, but also regionally and internationally. And we certainly have the talent to do it. And as my role as now Minister of Culture, along with Junior Minister for Culture and Tourism, we're going to be working on providing more funding to local filmmakers so that hopefully we can produce more documentaries and we can even produce, and I think it's something that we need to start working on, maybe a mini movie produced, film, acted, all persons right here from the Virgin Islands.
Reporting for 24 News, I am Kamal Haynes.
Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley and Deputy Premier Honorable Kai Rymer have assured that the government remains dynamic in its response to the growing cost of living and more specifically increased electricity costs resulting from the high global oil prices. Recently, while fielding questions from the press, Wheatley expressed that he has been pleased with the feedback he has received surrounding the government's fuel surcharge subsidy.
We're happy that subsidy has been applied. So just for persons, to remind persons, it was 50% of the fuel surcharge for October, the bill that's due in October, 50% for the bill due in November, and also 100% of the fuel surcharge in December. And certainly we always have to keep an eye on the situation, as you said. As Honorable Rymer said, we all hope that fuel prices will go down soon. And if we continue to face these challenges, certainly we'll have to see what it is we can do to bring some level of relief to the public.
Rymer noted that an extension of the existing subsidy may be on the table and that it is something he will bring to the attention of the Ministry of Finance if necessary.
Well, our plan is to ease the burden for the customer. I can't speak for the Minister of Finance, but I will surely be prompting him, if the prices remain the same, that we find some sort of funds to continue this ease for our residential customers.
The Premier, however, noted that the possibility of such extensions weighs heavily on the territory's ability to finance them, meaning that the territory must do its best to make the necessary funds available.
We certainly have to do all we can to ensure that we have a very good tourist season, which brings in the dollars, to make sure that we protect our financial services industry, and that we seek ways to diversify our economy so that we can, increase our gross domestic product here and also increase government revenues. It's a difficult task that we're in right now, of course, having to finance everything that we have to finance, but certainly we can't forget about the welfare of our people.
While the Ministry of Education is still unable to provide a date for the completion of the Elmore Stoutt High School redevelopment project, Education Minister herself, the Honorable Cherie B. DeCastro, has confirmed that the project was at 90% completion at the end of October.
As the date of this statement, construction stands at 90% of substantial completion. Madam Speaker, I wish to thank the contractors, Quality Construction, Metro Construction, Outland Heavy Equipment Co. Limited, and the joint venture of Sunleaf Construction and Northam Construction for the stellar job they have performed to advance the buildings to this stage and within an unprecedented short timeline.
DeCastro noted that the project has faced a significant number of delays, including supply chain issues, adverse weather conditions, shipping errors, and goods, being damaged while the shipping process, which affected critical goods such as windows, doors, paint, and floor stains. As a result, contractors have adopted and are working with a new timeline to reflect the time lost.
Madam Speaker, our focus is now on the completion of the building. With all of the required windows, doors, lighting, paint, and stains on island, the contractors are working diligently towards final completion. Thereafter, furniture and equipment comprising of the teacher, office, and computer desks, storage units, photocopiers, microwaves, and electrical appliances are expected to be delivered to the site. Lastly, 42 Promethean boards and 3 folding beds for the infirmary are expected to arrive no later than November 18th, 2022.
Despite being delayed in some areas, DeCastro stated that the site has not been idle. She noted that in the interim, the contractor has processed to execute auxiliary works, including the completion of sidewalks, parking lots, and drainage, as well as establishing main sewage, water, and electrical connection. Once completed, the new facility will feature 4 reinforced concrete buildings, which will comprise as follows. Block A, a 2-story technical block, which will be home to auto mechanics, food and nutrition, clothing and textile, electronics, woodwork, the metal shop, a bakery lab, culinary lab, and a bar and restaurant training lab. Block B1 and B2, 2 3-story classroom blocks with a total of 30 classrooms, plus adjoining restroom facilities at each level and a connecting staircase. Block C, a 1-story administrative block which hosts the reception area, the principal's office, front office, counselor's office, the infirmary, staff lounge, staff restrooms, janitor closet, and storage areas. The campus will cover a total of 24,904. Once completed, DeCastro has promised continued updates as a date for the official opening ceremony of the facility will be presented in due time. Viewers, when 284 News returns, Honorable Rymer calls for a standard to be placed across the board when disciplining public officers, and Culture and Tourism Month officially opened. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Introducing a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons. I'm taking you outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's the best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Virgin Gorda to Joss Van Dyke, not forgetting Anigada. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing. We are the movers and shakers of this generation. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman. Season 4 by yours truly, Ron Grant. Raising a generation of greatness. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on 284 Media.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up. Start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, And for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Viewers, welcome back and thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Deputy Premier and Minister for Communications and Works, the Honorable Kai M. Rymer, is calling for a standard to be placed across the board when penalizing public officers, adding that criminal charges should be the last resort after all the other avenues have been exhausted. Rymer's comments come at the heel of a number of recent arrests of public officers. He said the recent developments surrounding public officers who have been criminally charged have created a difficult work environment in some of the government ministries where public officers are now fearful, he says, of conducting their duties. Rymer also called for a closer look into the processes used, adding that he hopes the correct channels were utilized within the respective cases. He said that he has asked the Premier to look into the cases to bring more clarity on the matters and to provide a report to the House of Assembly.
We need to look at this closely. We cannot just be deciding what should be done for whom and for what, and we should, there should be a standard across the board. You have public officers now saying, I ain't doing this because I ain't going to get locked up. I don't want to do this. But Madam Speaker, we have a country to run. But I could understand what they're going through because I was a public officer as well. And I hope that those processes were followed, because going through the public service, the general orders, it tells you if you have an issue, whether you did something wrong, you would get whether a suspension or something on your record. But to take somebody straight to the courthouse, I think something is wrong there, Madam Speaker.
Meanwhile, at a subsequent press conference, Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley said he will look into the matters but warned that due to the separation of powers, he cannot instruct or influence any of the other branches of government.
I certainly will, seek information on what are the actions being taken through the Public Service Commission. But I just want to make sure that we all acknowledge that we have separate branches of government, of course, and the office of the DPP is completely independent, and I don't seek to have any influence whatsoever on whether the DPP charges or doesn't charge. So certainly within her office and within the police, they certainly have to weigh all the things that Honorable Rymer and myself would be concerned about, but they have to weigh those things independently outside of any influence from any elected official or anybody else, because of course they're completely independent.
Some of the recent arrests of public officers include former Director of the International Affairs Secretariat, Najon Christopher, who was charged with breach of trust by a public officer and false assumption of authority for a diplomatic note which was sent from the Premier's office on May 3rd. Public officer within the Ministry of Education, Ms. Lorna Stevens, for breach of trust in relation to the Elmore Stoutt High School perimeter wall, and most recently former Education Minister and local attorney Myron V. Walwyn, who was charged with breach of trust for his role in the Elmore Stoutt High School perimeter wall. The Ministry of Culture kicked off the third annual Culture and Tourism Month this week with the opening ceremony and a visual arts expo at Maria's by the Sea Hotel. This year, the observation is held under the theme "The Past is Present, Embracing Virgin Islands Traditions," and is a collaborative effort between the Department of Culture, the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission, alongside the H. Lavely Stoutt Community College and the Virgin Islands Communal Association, among other stakeholders. Addressing the opening ceremony, Junior Minister for Tourism and Culture, the Honorable Alva Maduro-Keynes, expressed her views on this year's theme and stressed the importance of keeping the BVI culture alive.
It is indeed my pleasure to say a few words on the opening of our Culture and Tourism Month. I semi-quote what Miss Bria Smith said in her song, but I phrase it this way: you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. This is why it is so important for us to embrace and teach our culture, especially to our youths.
Maduro Keynes said that she is excited to see this year's calendar of activities unfold as it provides a great opportunity to expose visitors to the territory's rich history.
We also must teach and brag about our cultures to visitors as well. Let them feel some of what we feel when teaching them about our culture. This year we have a whole month of culture celebrations. As you would see on the calendar, I would highlight the Fungi Fest, which is scheduled to be on the 25th of this month. We will be bringing in 2 bands, one from Nevis and one from Anguilla, and of course, our local bands like Four Strong, Razor Blades, also Fungi Band from our schools will be performing that night. It promises to be an exciting evening starting from 5 p.m.
Before ending her brief address, the junior minister reflected on her own pride as a Virgin Islander.
I must say that the BVI is filled with talented persons. I am totally impressed with what I see on display here today. It makes my heart what I call culturally proud. I am somehow trying to stay away from the paintings as paintings are my weakness. They all tell a story, our story of how we live and how we survive. That's our culture. Please, let's preserve our culture.
The following are the activities to be held during the month of November. From the 2nd to the 3rd, the Department of Culture will distribute, as a part of pre-literary festival activities, a pre-packaged selection of books for schools, libraries throughout the territory. November 7th, highlighting collectively the cultural dances of the Virgin Islands. These activities are as a result of the collaboration between the Department of Culture and the Heritage Dancers, the Mokojumbi cultural groups, as well as the Virgin Islands dance schools. Throughout the week, there will be a series of presentations and demonstrations on cultural dance for the senior school students. These sessions are titled En Route to Our Roots. November 11th, a BVI cultural affair and evening of dance at the H. Laverty Stoutt Community College Auditorium beginning at 7 p.m. November 11th, the Virgin Islands Communal Association will collaborate with the Department of Culture to host its Bonfire Night and Cultural Extravaganza, which include, among other activities, a traditional food competition, traditional games tournament, and its Bonfire Night activities. The third week, beginning on the 14th of November, will focus on the traditional arts of the Virgin Islands. The week will feature a number of visual arts, and the sessions are entitled The Past is Present, Art is Life. These workshops include the art of straw work with Mrs. Adina Penn, making pottery with Mr. Carl Burnett, in depth with photography with Mr. Robert Wright, Storm Wright that is, and basket bottle weaving with Mr. Cedric Turnbull. During this week, viewers, a number of artists will be highlighted via radio programs and print media. The fourth week, beginning with the 22nd of November, showcases the school's traditional school week activities. The week culminates with the long-standing cultural food fair at the Cyril B. Rumney Tortola Pier Park, which will be combined and continue on into the evening with a Fungi Fest. This is a collaboration between the Department of Culture and the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission. Now, the cultural food fair and Fungi Fest are followed by the highly anticipated Anegada Lobster Fest, which will take place between November 25th to the 27th. The month culminates with the Department of Culture's long-standing book launch program in the form of a book launch of I Want to Be a Thatcher Man by author Mrs. Janice Nibbs. Viewers, when 284 News returns, we have much more in store. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family. I love you. Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hustle. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Viewers, welcome back and thank you so much for sticking with us. I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. Do have a beautiful rest of the day, but make sure to, of course, follow us at 284media.com as well as on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, Twitter at 284mediabvi. Of course, we are your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. Have a happy Thursday and a beautiful rest of the day. I'm Ron Grant reporting for 284 News. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch and care? You say you were sick? What happened to over the rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes,
Good
Sonny.
morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based